I know that I've shared a lot of things on this podcast that I refer to as the biggest game changer of my career. And I'm not trying to discount any of those things or take back anything that I've said in the past, but if you only listen to one thing that I say and only implement one single piece of advice that I give you, please let it be this. If you've been paying attention and seeing me do a million things and wondering how I'm getting it all done, how I'm able to achieve so much in such a small amount of time, it's this: accountability. And I know this is not a new concept to anybody, it's not like a foreign word, but I can guarantee that you're not using it in a way that's really pushing you forward in your career. Some signs that you might need some accountability in your life. Number one, time passes and you just keep saying what you want to do and you never do it. Number two, you've had the same goals every year for several years now. Number three, you don't understand why you haven't been able to reach your goals. Number four, you know something isn't working, but you're not exactly sure what it is. Number five, your to-do list is so long, you don't even know where to start. Number six, you don't know how to prioritize this to-do list either. If any of this sounds like you, listen up, because I'm going to help you get through this. And the entire reason for this episode, like, don't feel like I have this all figured out, because I definitely don't, guys. I struggle just like everyone else. And the entire reason for this podcast today is I've been feeling so stuck lately and just stagnant, and I feel like my work has plateaued. I'm just kind of lost and not really sure what direction I want to go in, and just feeling like confused and unmotivated and uninspired. And I couldn't figure out why I was feeling this way. And it occurred to me the other day that I haven't had an accountability meeting in over a month. No wonder I haven't gotten shit done. I have accountability meetings every single week, and I have skipped them over the past month because I've been traveling, been busy, doctor's appointments, whatever. It's been a whole month that's just flown by, and I didn't even realize it. When you think about the word accountability, it kind of has like a negative feeling about the word, doesn't it? It's almost like a threat. And I think of like somebody saying to me, like, I'm holding you accountable for this. And that feels like shitty and like something that I don't want. But when you look at it from this other perspective that I have now learned, you kind of see it in a different light, and you understand like how this is so helpful and not at all a threat. So before I started implementing these accountability meetings into my life, it used to be very confusing and messy, and I just kind of felt like I was always running in place and just kind of like running in circles. I was super busy all the time, but was I being productive? Absolutely not. I started taking classes in 2023 through this online business program. They immediately assigned me an accountability coach, and we met every 2 weeks. And I didn't think much of this at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, this is my person that's supposed to like tell me what to do or what I'm supposed to be working on or whatever. And that wasn't it at all. She didn't tell me anything. She basically asked me what I wanted to do and then made sure I did it. And this was such a foreign thing to me because I literally couldn't even remember what I said I wanted to do. And I was such a fucking mess in the beginning. In fact, it took me probably the first 6 or so meetings to really get the hang of it and really start to get the benefit from it, which I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, I wasted so much time. Because when you think about six meetings every 2 weeks, that's months that I wasted that I could have really been just nose to the grindstone moving forward, but I didn't get it yet. And I didn't even have a direction yet. But once I got the hang of it, I started to show up prepared. I can remember one of the first few meetings, she was asking me like, how much money, how much revenue do you do a month? And I'm like, I don't I didn't even know I didn't even know anything. Like, I didn't know what my business was doing. I didn't know what it wasn't doing. I didn't know what was working, what wasn't working. I was clueless. I was just like, everything's awful and I don't know why and I need help. And she's like, I don't know how to help you if you don't have information. So it literally took me those first 6 meetings just to gather information about what I was even trying to do, because didn't know. Yeah, I was a mess. So best decision I ever made was take business classes. So if you're a tattoo artist trying to open a business, make sure you know some stuff about business before you do it, because it's not like I really thought that I don't need to know about business. It's just me tattooing, whatever. No, no, no. It's a lot more deep than that. And anyway, let me get off that tangent. But I remember, starting to show up like prepared, and I bought my little notebook. I have this little, for the people on YouTube, I have a little accountability notebook, and every week I had these meetings. I would write down all of my, my wins, my struggles, like everything that we talked about in these meetings, and I would write down my goals. So then it was like, okay, I wrote it down. For me, I don't know about you guys, but if I write something down, I remember it. I don't know if there's like a science to that, but I have to physically write it. If I type it, I don't retain it. But I would write it down, and then I would be able to like look back. Oh, what did I say I was working on this week? Oh, that's right. I'm going to be doing this. And so I could stay on track. And when I came to my next meeting, I'd be like, I did this, this, and this, and next week I want to work on this. And so I was really starting to put in the effort, and I stopped making excuses, and I started putting in the work, and I was seeing instant results from it. And I started to feel the burdens lifting, and things started getting much easier for me. I finally felt like I had a map, a direction, and I knew what the path was to get there. If you can get clear on your direction and what you want, like where do you want to be in a year? Like what are we working on? What are we working towards? If you know your big goals and you can break them down into smaller goals, you can really start putting in this effort. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out episode 11. It's all about goal setting. And while you're at it, download my free goal getter worksheet. You can download that at boundbyart.com/goals. It's a really great resource for brainstorming your goals, and it doesn't have to be the beginning of the year. You can start this anytime, guys. Even if you're listening to this in July, get started. Too many people wait around for the perfect time to start and reset and fix things, and it's such a giant waste of time. Go buy a notebook, download my workbook, listen to the episode, get started today. Sorry for the rant. That's probably another episode in itself. But anyway, go download the workbook, boundbyart.com/goals, and go listen to episode 11. It's going to take you through the whole worksheet, and you're going to figure out what your direction is and get clear on that and understand the steps involved and where you're wanting to go. When I started with the business program, I had no direction. I had no plan. I had no blueprint for getting where I wanted to be. And like I said, I was just running in place. I was busy, not productive. And once I started taking advantage of these meetings, I started to be more proactive instead of reactive. And I think that most of us live this way. When you're being reactive to situations, you're not in control. And for someone like me who is admittedly a control freak, I can't believe I lived my life so long in this way, just reacting to everything. If you're just reacting, you're not making intentional choices. You're in this constant loop of like disaster, panic, recover, disaster, panic, recover, and you cannot get ahead because you're not thinking ahead. And you're always going to be frustrated. And I knew what I wanted, but I felt like I was never getting closer to it. Does that sound familiar? Because I feel like so many of us go through that where it's like, it's right there. Like, I know that's the thing I want, but it's so far away and it stays far away and I'm never getting closer to it and what's going on and what's wrong, but we never really like stop to figure it out, right? Once you start using and implementing accountability into your business, you'll start to see the benefits from it almost immediately. So you're going to have data check-ins. You're going to know exactly where things went wrong. For example, I'm trying to grow my following online, and in order to do that, I have to post consistently. I have gotten so lazy. I feel like I got to a certain point where I was like, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm busy. I stay booked. I don't care about this anymore. I can't care. And the fact is, people only get so many tattoos in their life, and I have to constantly be finding new clients to work with, because I'm gonna, like, the old clients are gonna get exhausted or run out of space on their bodies, and I'm gonna need a new crowd of people. So I have to stay relevant. I have to stay consistent. As much as I hate it and don't want to do it, it's just a fact of my job. And I've just gotten so lazy, and so, I mean, lazy is not the only thing. If I'm being honest, I have had too much on my plate, and I have been too overwhelmed to do it. And the fact is, I'm not doing the things that are required to get this goal that I want, which is grow my following. So on accountability check-in day, when I look back and see, oh, I haven't gained any followers this week. Why not? I look back at my week and I didn't post at all. Or maybe I posted like one time and my goal is 5. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't blame the algorithm. I wasn't in the algorithm, right? I can't blame anyone but myself, because I said I was going to do this. I know this is what it takes to get what I want, and I didn't do it. So that's on me. Another example, I've been trying to roll out a new client loyalty program for almost a year. And my weekly goals have been finish the logo, and then once that's done, I'm going to create the promo images for it. And I've been saying that for like 8 fucking months. And I wanted to roll this program out in January. It's May, and I'm just now finishing it. And I can look back and see, like, on my weekly goals, like, okay, I was doing stuff. I was making progress, but it wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be. And if my goal really was January, I really would have had to lock in and focus and finish the damn logo. It's not that hard. I literally fucking have to draw tattoos for appointments tomorrow and I get them done. You know, there's no excuse for that. I just was like, I don't, like, did I really want it? Maybe not. But I could see I wasn't putting in that effort that would have been required to get to that goal that I wanted. So I definitely could have had this thing going for the last 5 months, but here we are, you know, just now finally getting it done. But I did get it done. So there's that. I'm going to call that a win. But what was the problem? I think for me, the biggest thing was no one was holding me accountable. And it's hard when you're the boss, because you have to have the right kind of people around you that aren't going to be like, if you deserve a break, like, you take it easy, you know, and really need, like, have people around you that are going to be like, bitch, you said you were going to do this. Why didn't you do it? What's the fucking problem? Do you need help? Like, I need that in my life. And it's like, sometimes I have that. Sometimes they're feeling like a little sassy and they are actually going to give me shit. But a lot of times they're just like, work so hard, like, it's okay, they'll put it on next week. And like, you know, I not blaming them, obviously, because it is me, but you know, having a strong accountability buddy to tell you when you're fucking up means the world and is worth so much. But I also, you know, I wasn't holding myself accountable. I was letting myself slide so fucking much. But every single person I told my attentions to let me slide gave me a free pass. What I needed was for someone to give me shit and stay on my ass about it. Even if that someone had to be me, someone needed to. So we have weekly meetings at our shop every Tuesday morning. We get together and everyone, you know, talks about their goals and what they're working on that week. We check in on last week. And there's plenty of weeks that we don't do what we say we're going to do. It happens, right? We don't just say fuck it and give up and forget. Every week we're asking, does this need to go back on the list for this week? Or has the goal or path changed? Because sometimes that happens too. So maybe you realize halfway through the week that I don't really want this. This isn't really that important. This isn't something that should be on my to-do list. And there's something over here that's way more important. Another benefit of accountability meetings is having drive. You can't drive without a direction. Well, you can, but you're going to probably waste a lot of gas. And you can't have drive without a direction either. Have you ever just gotten up in the morning and thought to yourself, fuck yeah, we're going to crush it today. Let's fucking go. And you have absolutely no idea what your day even looks like, or what you're doing, or where you're going, or what you're working on? No, you don't. Nobody does that. it's really difficult to be passionate about and like inspired and motivated if you don't even know what you're being passionate, inspired, or motivated about. So you have to have that direction first, so then you can like build up that excitement and build up that motivation and that passion to get there. Another benefit is getting constant feedback. Not everyone loves feedback, but for me, I live for feedback. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, how can you fix it? I need to know always like what I could be doing better, how I can improve things. If you don't know what you could be doing differently, how are you going to ever fix that or improve on it? Accountability isn't just, did you do the thing? It's, did you do the thing correctly? Did you do it efficiently? Did you do it to the best of your ability? Or did you just hurry up and get the shit done so that you could check the box that you did it? Holding yourself to a higher standard and checking in on that regularly is only going to make you better. It's going to push you and it's going to challenge you. Having someone else hold you accountable in this way really is best. An industry peer or someone that you just look up to that can call you out on your bullshit. They're going to tell you shit that you don't want to hear, and it sucks. And no one really likes that part. But if you can just like swallow your pride, like push your ego aside and just hear it, and you might have to sit on it a minute, but take it back and just hear what they're saying. If they're a true buddy and they're your friend and they want the best for you, they're not going to tell you things just to hurt you. They're not going to tell you things just because they want to knock you down a peg, because a true friend and a true accountability partner is going to really want the best for you and push you to be better. So they're going to see this thing and tell you like, hey, this could be better. And they mean it and they want that for you. So don't get all butthurt about it, get your feelings hurt. Just hear what they're saying and try to apply it. You might even have to start over on your drawing completely because they told you that it was trash. So I don't really consider him like my accountability buddy, but my buddy James, he's someone that I look up to a lot for his tattoo work is incredible. James Bogue, go follow him on Instagram. But his work is incredible, and I'm always asking his opinion. Like I'll send him my drawings, like, what do you think about this? And I love him for this, will just pick shit apart and tell me like, ooh, I wish you did this different, like, give me pointers or whatever. And I'll have to go back to fucking square one a lot of times. And it makes me like kind of hesitate to send him stuff because I'm like, oh my God, he's going to shit all over this and I'm going to have to start over. But that's the point, right? Do we want to just pass it through as, a mediocre piece, knowing that it's mediocre because we didn't want to put in the extra work? Or do we really want to get better? Do we really want to say, here's here's my soul, please stomp on it and tell me how to fix it, But you have to put yourself out there and you have to be willing to hear the hard things that you don't want to hear. Otherwise, you're probably doing a mediocre job had it not been for this person telling you these hard truths. It might be hard to hear, but you need to hear it if you intend to get better at what you do. You're also going to start noticing your detours or being like more aware of your detours. Sometimes accountability means calling yourself out when you took a detour and strayed from the plan and started focusing on shit that doesn't matter. It's an opportunity to call yourself back and redirect back to what you're supposed to be working towards. You ever just get so carried away on like a side quest that you forgot what you were supposed to be doing? It's called ADHD, look it up. Sometimes I'll walk away from an accountability meeting saying and fully believing that I'm about to crush my to-do list for the week, get 2 steps outside the door, and completely forget everything because a shiny new project has caught my attention. Next thing I know, a week's flown by and I'm having to admit that I didn't do a fucking thing that I said I was going to do. And that's on me. That's my fault. But sometimes you're going to discover that what you thought was the most important thing to be working on was not important at all, and you have to completely scrap it. And if you're being honest with yourself and consistently showing up every week and holding yourself accountable, you're inevitably going to have a week where you realize something else was way more important, and the thing that you intended to do was just a distraction. Once you've built that trust up with yourself, and you'll be able to start seeing it clearly and quickly and know that it's not just an excuse to not do something. And then you're able to pivot and turn your focus over to the thing that does matter instead of just going through the motions or giving up on your weekly goals altogether. Some weeks you're not going to get anything done, and that's okay too. I am about to go into our shop's weekly meeting here in a few minutes, knowing full well that I absolutely did not get shit done that I said I was going to do because, well, life happens. And honestly, sometimes I'm just way too ambitious and unrealistic. So, but I know where I stand. I know that I know what I need to be doing and what I should have done, and I can course correct this week. But if you're not paying attention, you can't fix it. Checking in weekly allows you that moment to say, I wasn't feeling it last week. I didn't get it done, whatever the reason, but we're going to put it back on the list this week and we're going to crush it. And you're never just putting down that idea or that goal and walking away from it. You're being intentional about what you're doing. Intention is probably the biggest component here. With intention and direction, you'll slowly chip away at these big goals and you'll be able to look back at the end of the year and see how much you were able to accomplish because you stayed committed and you kept coming back and you kept attacking these big tasks that you said you wanted to do. If you don't have this accountability person yet, I seriously recommend finding some like-minded person to check in with. It doesn't have to be the same industry as yours. My accountability buddy owns a printing business. She's awesome. She's in Texas. And I said, hey, like she was leaving school, like 6 months in, she left. And I was like, hey, do you need an accountability buddy? Because I know shit's hard out there. And it was going to be mutually beneficial for both of us. So we don't have the same industry, but I can get different perspectives from her than I would from another tattoo artist or shop owner. I do, however, recommend someone who is at a similar stage in business as you. The relationship has to be mutual. So somebody who is way ahead of you in business is probably not going to want to spend their time talking to someone that they have to constantly be coaching. If you're working with someone who is on the same level as you're a lot of times going to be helping them brainstorm their ideas and break down their problems into tasks. And you end up giving yourself ideas and you end up helping yourself in the process. But this has been the number one most valuable change I've made in my business in the last year. It's really pushed me to accomplish so many things that I've been saying I want to do for years. And now I can finally say I did that, I got it done, and move on to the next thing.